some of the young first five, they're still learning.
Yes.
And then you had people like Dan Carter who just came in and they were sensational straight away.
Yeah.
When did you first see Dan Carter? What were your first impressions of him?
Well, he was a big like because when you're young Colts and stuff like everyone knows, oh, he's the Colts one or what have you. So he was about 2 years ahead of me.
Was he already a big deal?
Well, he was just played the Colts, and then I think the following year he was World Cup. So my first game would have been around. I just moved to Waikato. I think we played Canterbury in an NPC game back when it was one of my first starts for Waikato in the NPC, and she was a full house at Waikato Stadium. So that was probably my first game against him. But yeah, he quickly moved into like All Blacks out of the age group stuff. So I mean, I was actually lucky. The first year I made New Zealand Colts, which was probably my first New Zealand team really. The only reason I made it was because he got picked for the All Blacks. So therefore,
Thank you, DC.
Yeah, it was nice, you DC. So therefore,
he did a few nice things for you across his career, didn't he? He just paved the way.
Yeah, so that was a real opening. But yeah, you talk about the young boys. Like he came in right from the word go.
But he also played 12.
DC, I guess, I think he was always a 10, but when you've got
to make space.
Mertens,
yeah.
You got Aaron Major who was 12 and 10. I think they sort of eased them in that way. Like when I say eased in, I'm talking about when he was 19, 20.
Yeah.
To play outside Mertz or to play outside Aaron Major. And then from about, I'd say from 22-ish, 21-ish.
He was always
10. He was always going to be a 10.
But do you think that's helpful when you're first starting off to play outside?
Yeah, it depends.
If depending on
you're
the teams
about
and
Andrew Murdens,
exactly. You're depending on who you've got at 10.
If you're talking about Andrew Murdens, who is like in my lifetime in New Zealand, if it's not DC, it's Andrew Murdens. So yeah, you'd love to have played outside him to get tutored by him, so to speak. But I sort of think the way it's going is we're actually a bit of a detriment to our 10s because at the moment, when you look at rugby in New Zealand and right from the schoolboy stuff, they're all running around in systems. So you don't actually have to be the loudest, the busiest, I guess the guy that's actually looking for stuff, because in a lot of systems, it's just your job is to be standing here. Then it's your job to be standing here. Your job to kick the ball then. Your job to kick the ball here. As opposed to being the all-governing, right, this is my ship. And I remember from a young age, as an 18 or 19-year-old when I was playing NPC for counties, like, it's all good to be the shy boy and not say a word, which I was when you're dealing with grown men who are 30 and 25 and all the rest of it. But when you step on that training field, the forwards are going to look around and they're going to need to hear you. So, and then you just got to be the loudest person on the field for your team at training and on the game, because, you know, grizzly old forwards back then, they would have turned around and tell you, they didn't care who you were, how young you were. I was a schoolboy and they were...
You got to do your job.
You got to do your job, so you got to be a mouth. You know, you can't just sort of sit there and I guess in some ways hide. So I just wonder at times if we're taking pressure off, but I wonder if we're missing the development of those boys by not actually throwing them in and saying, hey, this is your ship, you know. And when you look at DC, I know you were sort of wondering...
What made him so great? Because he is the greatest. What made DC so great?
Well, I mean, you got to break it down physically, like just a gifted athlete, like fast, strong. And when I say gifted, he worked hard at all of that, but was a lot faster than people probably gave him credit for. A lot stronger than people. His fin was decent. I know. I was on my backside a couple of times from it. So if you got in close quarters, like the great footage of DZ is you could literally be in a 2 or 3 meter square box and he would have the ability to shimmy, boom, fend, and with his agility and speed, get away, and away he went. But the thing about him is his skill level. Like he is, and I'd go both codes. He is the finest kicker with variation, with touch, with everything I've ever seen. And his ability to do a cross kick, his ability to bend it back, his ability to have just the right touch on a chip kick or a long kick, it was pretty impeccable. And I haven't seen anything like it. And the other thing, you combine that with his passing game, which was just as you'd expect, and his running game. But the thing that I think sets him apart, and when you look at guys these days, there was always an encouragement to be this triple threat, and it's an easy throwaway line. Oh, he can do it all. He's a triple threat. He could literally do it from where he stood. So what I mean by that, like Smithy was a big one for it. Like just used to drill us. You're not sitting in the pocket. You just got to be able to do it from there. So that same spot that Smithy would have you standing in, you had to be able to pass, kick, see his opportunity, run. And like I do look at some games these days and think Smithy would be horrified
because it's just so obvious.
It's obvious, but that was Desi's greatest strength. Like
no one knew what he was going to do.
It's when you talk about the triple threat, it's all good to be a good runner, a good passer, a good kicker. But when you can do it all in one starting spot, that's the magic. That's what set him apart. He could do it from anywhere. And like I remember, I got the best seat in the house at times at training when we were defending. You'd think something was happening, and hang on, a cross kick went in, and that's the ability. When you look at a cross kick done these days, Kirst, they're standing about.
Oh yeah,
they're standing about 15
You've
meters behind.
seen it 5 minutes earlier.
Yeah, so that's, and that's a very quick summary on why he is the greatest we've seen. But that would probably, if I had to put in a nutshell, that would be it. Just his ability to do everything, but from a depth and from a position, the unknown to the opposition.